the Gullwing was too soon. It was my ultimate dream car, but it became stressful because the timing of it. I needed to get out of the Veyron. I couldn't find any buyer for the Veyron, but the Gullwing was like my ultimate dream car. So it was like, at least I'm stretching to do like the car that I've wanted my entire life, but it didn't run and it needed $100,000 in work that I had to pay. So that was the other final, just like get that done.
Didn't you get really lucky though with the Gullwing with values just going through the roof?
Yes. So when I sell that car, that's the car where, like I said, my end-all be-all dream car. And then everybody's like, "Are you going to keep that forever?" And I say, "I don't know." Kind of like the Countach. That was a more realistic dream car of mine. I grew up with that poster on the wall, the Lamborghini Countach poster. It was actually my dad's poster from college, and I thought, man, I got it. But then we're 4 years in. I hadn't driven the car maybe 3 times in 6 months. So what am I doing? I don't need to keep this. I don't need it. So I feel like the Gullwing, there'll be all these amazing opportunities to do all the things I ever dreamed about with the Gullwing. Mercedes Classic has been so incredible. Mercedes brand itself, as far as them being on board with a YouTuber that's not 80 years old, loving these cars and you getting into it, and they see the value of that. So they've invited me out to the Mille Miglia, put the car on a plane to come out and do the 1,000-mile race in Italy, this revival. And then I can go afterwards and drive it, through the Italian Riviera and pull up to the Monaco Casino and all that stuff, like the things I've dreamed of doing my entire life. Once I've done everything with that car, will I keep it? That's the thing. I don't know. I feel like there'll be a point where, like, okay, I'll sell this and then have relief and just be okay and content with like the photos and the memories that I had the car. I don't need to hang on to it forever.
You could retire with that car. At the rate the values are climbing, what do you think you'd be able to sell it for?
Well, I almost ripped the door off of it. So it's in the body shop right now. That's the thing. That car that sold for $2.6 million was really, really nice. And we sold one that was a fresh restoration 2 years ago for $3.5 million. Non-alloyed body car. This one had sat for 10 years. It got revived relatively easily. With a paint job, this thing would be really, this thing already was pretty nice, but it's been 40 years since it had a paint job, but it was a really nice restoration on a really nice car to begin with. With a paint job and some bright work, maybe $100,000, it would be a $2 million car easily, maybe 2.2. Its numbers matching everything, all that stuff. So yeah, I'm sitting at pretty good, and I could sell it right now and make some money. But I do think now that I have it, I should experience the things with it now that I have it. That wasn't the goal. I wanted to get out of the Veyron and have some comfort and some cushion and things. But this deal worked, and I'm gonna do it and enjoy myself and be really happy. But also the thought of having 7 figures in my account sounds like really nice to just not.
I have been so tempted. There are these replicas of the 300 SL. It's the Tony. I forget the last name. We're gonna put it on screen.
Yeah,
here, but these cars sell for about $250.
They do.
And my gosh, it is it seems to me like a 1-to-1 of the thing.
I couldn't do it. Yeah. Well, it's not the right engine. They use a modern Mercedes inline 6 in it, which made sense of the time when they were building it, and it's the same horsepower and stuff. But no, it's not the same. I've driven enough of the cars. Like, it is a very special.
How is it
thing.
Different?
Well, it's the drivetrain's different. It doesn't have that same direct injection 240 horsepower. It's a inline 6 Mercedes from the 80s or 90s engine that they use in them, and it's a great engine. I've had it in E320s and things like that, but it's not the same. There's enough modernization where it's not the same.
Isn't it just reliable though? Or you
that's the thing about that car. It's the original supercar. So people say the Lamborghini Miura is the original supercar. 300 SL Gullwing. It was originally a race car, and a guy named Max Hoffman, he's an American, told Mercedes, like, if you build this car, like Sterling Moss set the record in this thing in the Mille Miglia and all that stuff, unbeaten record until they shut it down, the race, because it was too dangerous. If you build this car for production, I would sell every single one you make in the U.S. And he was right. They made the production car with the Gullwing doors, even though that made no sense for practicality wise. And every Hollywood A-lister, Clark Gable, Frank Sinatra, this was the car. Like, oh my God! Not only was it gorgeous, but it was the fastest car in the world and it still drives modern because it's a tubular chassis with, somewhat modern suspension. It's properly fast because it's 240 horsepower, but also very lightweight. So nothing drives like that car from that period. Nothing even close. You have to go decades newer to get a driving experience like that. As far as the tubular chassis and how tight it is, and the transmission, to be able to drive a car from the 50s and just row the gears like your Ford GT.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that in old cars, but that car you can.
How much in value do you think you're going to lose driving at 1,000 miles?
None. Zero. That's the thing. I haven't done the paint job yet, so I scraped the door and almost ripped the door off and damaged it and all that stuff. I could have turned it into insurance and had a full repaint done, and the car would have been gone for 6 months or whatever, and that would have made a lot more sense for me to do. But then I'd be terrified to drive it.
Couldn't you just do PPF on the entire car?
You could, but the car already has, because of 30 years of some use, it has dings, it has scratches, it has a few paint imperfections and things. So I can drive it anywhere, get a few more scratches, a few more rock chips, all that stuff. Giggle, laugh all the way. Mileage doesn't matter on that car. It's probably already turned over once. Nobody really cares. Like, there's no this 300 cell going only has 5,000 original miles, because it's almost impossible to know because it's only a 5-digit odometer. So
really,
they don't really mention that in cars. Like, there's very few where they say this thing's documented low mileage car. That's not a thing with antique cars, and also when they restore it full nut and bolt, they reset the odometers anyway on these cars. They put them back to zero. So that's not a thing like with Ford GTs and modern supercars and things where mileage is everything. It's not the same with these old stuff. So since it has a little bit of patina on it already, I can drive it. I can do all these things with it. And then when I'm done, make it one of the nicest goings on the planet. And then I could do the show circuit. I could sell it.
Do you think they're a good investment? Let's just say you could find one today at today's market value, and your plan is to hold it 10 years.
You could say that, but there's also, is there enough people our age and younger that are going to appreciate a 300 cell going right now? Like, I did the going rally, and I was the youngest person there that was an owner by 30 years. They're all the owners are much older. And are they going to still appreciate that car? There's some younger people coming in. There's a lot of cool events like the Colorado Grand and the California Meal, 1,000-mile rallies that you have to have a car that's pre 1950 something to participate in. And it's a really neat thing that younger people are getting more involved with. And also younger people are enjoying analog cars and things. So there's going to be always, the 300 cell Gold Wing is always going to be an icon, but is it going to be, it's not, it's already old, and it's not $10 million unless it's an alloy body. So it's not like it's going to go that way unless obviously inflation, $10 million cars is $1 million car is what it feels like, now. So I don't think so. I think there's a lot smarter cars to buy in the modern era that, like we've seen recently with numbers on F40s and F50s and Enzos and things, where it's gotten so crazy that the smarter money would be in something a few decades newer, obviously in the 80s or 90s. But so it's not the worst place to park money.
Now, one of the biggest traps with healthy snacks is just how misleading they are. A lot of protein bars, I've noticed, still spike your blood sugar, contain hidden sugars, or contain ingredients you can't even pronounce. And then you're hungry again an hour later. That's why we love the sponsor of this clip, War on Sugar. They make a bar that actually keeps your blood sugar stable, tastes great, and contains ingredients that you recognize.
War on Sugar bars are amazing. They're designed specifically to avoid insulin spikes, and their sweetness comes from monk fruit, which is exactly how they stay sweet without getting that blood sugar response. Plus, they use healthy fats and natural fiber to slow digestion and keep energy steady. And the result is amazing. It's no spike, no crash, and no craving afterwards, just clean, sustained energy that actually lasts.
And the ingredients list is refreshingly simple. No sugar alcohols, no preservatives, no natural flavors. Everything comes from real nuts, real fruits, and real cocoa.
So whether you're watching your blood sugar, eating low carb or keto, traveling or training, or you just need a grab-and-go bar that actually fills you up, War on Sugar is that bar.
They've got great flavors like lemon blueberry, peanut butter pistachio, and chocolate peanut butter crunch.
Seriously, guys, I highly recommend it. Just go to waronsugar.com and use code ICED10 for 10% off your first box. Once again, that is waronsugar.com. ICED10 is the code for 10% off your first box. I have a problem. When I eat, I spike and I crash and I cannot focus. I do not suffer that with War on Sugar bars, so I highly recommend it. Thank you so much to War on Sugar for sponsoring this clip.